facing them right now. Peter Burling with the chance to send them home and put the Kiwis into that playoff final and possibly into pole position to come out the other side as the challenger for the America's Cup against the defenders Oracle Team USA. The British with port entry, Ken.
If there is a slight advantage, it probably is to the boat with port entry. They get to pick their time heading back to the start. Statistically, it's been a slight advantage, not crucial by any means. Ainsley has won 10 of 15 races in which he's been first to that reach mark.
He's pretty calm, at least on the inside and on the outside too, seemingly. He has been there and done it. If anybody can pull it out from here, it is Sir Ben Ainsley, mastermind, of course, of the comeback in 2013 for Oracle Team USA when they were 8-1 down. The 6th episode of this semi-final contest between the British and the Kiwis. If Land Rover BAR don't win this, they are gone. And the end of their Louis Vuitton America's Cup Challenger campaign.
So it's interesting that if Team New Zealand, let's see if they start getting aggressive and attack here, because they might be thinking we're in a faster boat, maybe we should lay off, but they need practice. They need practice because they're going to be sailing against faster boats if they progress through to the next round, to the next series. I think they're just kind of hanging off right now, and just as I say that, they're dialing in for a hook. So they're going to give one more little shove to Ben. I'm sure they're thinking, let's make it easy on ourselves and try to be ahead at this first mark. But Ainsley,
he's going to have another go.
Yeah, no, as usual, Ainsley is doing a nice job. Is he too early for the starting line? I don't think so. I think he's just going to go clean off the line.
But it's nip and tuck, isn't it?
Get on the foils if you're Ainsley. That's all you got to worry about.
Just about up,
yeah.
Up and away they go. The Kiwi boat quicker to find the speed over the start line, and they are nosing their way into view in behind Land Rover BAR. Nothing between these two in the early skirmishes.
Ainsley's been pretty quick on these reaches for the most part, and you see the mark in the upper left-hand corner of our screen. Ainsley, if he can keep an overlap, will have the right of way to round that mark on the inside.
We're going straight.
Big moment for the British. They need to get the lead at this mark.
We have seen it make all the difference on so many different occasions. The start, the first mark rounding, absolutely key.
Watch it and see if Ainsley gets aggressive here. He might be thinking, I need to match race a little bit. He's gapping off. Does he come back up at him? He's going fast. Those guys are going fast right now.
That's as fast as we've seen today.
He's going to jibe smack on the nose of Emirates Team New Zealand, who has not their best jibe.
So Ainsley applying the pressure. And just sending that message to Peter Burling. If he wants to get past him, if he wants to win this race, if he wants to progress to the playoff final, he's going to have to do it the hard way.
Okay, we're going 1 and in.
No tougher competitor in world sport than Sir Ben Ainsley, and there's a few in there who will be following his lead.
Giles Scott's already called for 1 and in, which means 1 jibe and then rounding the gate.
14. Lay line in 13. In 10. 7. 6. Okay, Ben, I'm happy.
Action stations, and the jibe is clean from the British. They're really going to make the gate with that manoeuvre, can you think?
He was counting down. It's amazing how accurate the instrumentation is. That timing sequence is off of an instrument right in front of Giles Scott. It's telling him where the lay line is, or the most effective angle into the bottom gate. It's amazing how good these guys are at ley lines because you're twisting a wing. You have instruments instruments somehow are accurate on these wing mats.
Good illustration of the two boat speeds here, though. The Kiwis are closing slowly but surely. 32, 33 knots. So Ben Ainsley is taking the British crew round the gates and staying up on the foils. Feeling the hot breath of the Kiwis on his neck, though. And the Kiwis looking a little unstable. Wow, what's going on there?
We got a little high on their flight again. I mean, not completely dissimilar to what may have caused their tragic start a couple of days ago. They got quite high, lost a little bit of control, and not their best tack. And on the other hand, Ainsley nailed that tack. And I'll tell you what, besides just getting out and pushing, Ainsley's doing everything he possibly can here right now. This is actually very aggressive sailing. Let's watch this tack again. They get up quite high on their foils. The weather rudder on their new side actually pops out for some. Once you get up high like that, you skid sideways. Everything gets out of kilter. It's a very technical term, out of kilter.
And 2 days ago, when the pitch pole came about, it came about, I'm right in saying, Kenny, you've described this once or twice before, because they got too high and there was a massive imbalance.
They tried to pop up in their foils at a very slow, and I'm going off of what the experts have told me. They tried to over-aggressively pop up on their foils. They skied them, and the elevators on the two rudders eventually popped out of the water. And when those elevators on the rudders pop out of the water, there's nothing that's going to prevent what happened. And look at this. These guys are chewing them up again. Ainsley is just going to drop right down and just do a classic match race move right now and use that wing wash to try to slow down the Kiwis. Somebody's got to slow down the Kiwis, and they're going to tack away. They're actually going to bail out of this.
So the New Zealanders, fed up with sailing in the wing wash of Land Rover BAR, have chosen an altogether different course. A rather early tack on the beat and searching for a bit of extra wind over the other side of the racetrack. The British, though, maintaining this slender lead at the moment.
It's amazing that these guys think they can maneuver so effectively that they just tack. Like in a normal monohull, what we have seen in strategy for years, just spin themselves out of that wind wash, and again, not their best tack. Not their best tack again on Emirates Team New Zealand. The Brits, I tell you what, the Brits, we always said they needed to do their perfect race, and they're sailing a perfect race right now.
Here's the tack from the New Zealanders, who we have become very used to manipulating their boat in an untroubled, stable, unfussy sort of a fashion.
First time the Brits have pulled away on an upwind leg against Emirates Team New Zealand since I can remember. Joey, a little different boat race out there.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, you know, he's no stranger to being the wrong side of match point, as you know full well. He's handling the pressure perfectly. So what we're seeing with the Kiwis, though, is the boat's starting to look increasingly unstable, and I just sort of wonder if maybe the control problems that they had at the start of that first race, we're starting to see them come to the fore again. You know, it just takes one button push not to work every second time, and the boat becomes unstable. The Kiwis have been tacking worse and starting in a straight line, seem to be struggling a little bit. So maybe we're seeing some of those problems come out.
Well, we're going to have to keep a very, very close eye on that, Ken, because the state of the competition right now with the British 4-1 down in this semi-final series, if there is anything wrong with the Kiwi boat, Ainsley has to hammer the point home, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and he's going to have a nice lead at this mark. Should get out to a couple hundred meters. They needed the perfect race, and so far, quite frankly, they've sailed darn close to it.
So again, a split course. Good boat speed from both of these crews. British clinging on to their America's Cup campaign.
Joey, one more question. It just seems from our vantage point that the breeze is actually dropping a couple knots. What's it look like out there?
Yeah, I think it might have gone from, say, 14, 15 knots when we first got out here down to maybe 11 or 12. But that might be another factor that we've seen the British boat just be a tiny bit more comfortable in the lower wind speeds. As I'm saying that, though, the Kiwis look like they're in a pretty nice header there, and they may have made a little gain on this last cross.
My goodness, the Kiwis are ripping down the racetrack right now. But every shift eventually does end, Ali. Still a 200 or so meter lead for the Brits. We've seen some higher heart rates on skippers so far. A lot higher heart rates on skippers. Just like
20 seconds delay line.
Just like we were just talking about. You want match point. You want somebody on your team on match point. I'm pretty sure he's your guy.
Peter Burling
Except for sorry,
ice cool.
Or maybe he's your guy. I mean, the two of these guys talk about cool under pressure.
Peas of a pod. Built the same way with the same competitive streak running right through the middle of them. So important that the clinical nature of these manoeuvres continues for the British crew, because the Kiwis are always calm when chasing. They never panic because they know they can find the wind. They know their boat is that fast that they can make up ground in a flash.
They've closed back a little bit here on this run. There's no doubt about it. They're going to get a split at the gate. So it worked last time. Ainsley kind of tacked out a phase on that last beat, just to tack right on top of the Kiwis. Let's see if he does it again. Close boat race.
Kiwis will still be confident from here. Done it so many times before.
It's almost like they're more confident sometimes being behind. They really, as they showed the other day in the big breeze, they absolutely didn't care if they were starting behind. In fact, it kind of looked like their strategy. Just hang back and rip it. Here's another crucial cross. Kiwis are not going away. Ainsley continues to sail. I think the British, their best race of the entire regatta so far.
Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough to keep them here in Bermuda?
So if we're going to set up the right turn at this point.
So high percentages from all the boats so far. Today, conditions are just about ideal for match race foiling. Not the wild fluctuations or indeed the kind of crazy wild wind speeds of 2 days ago. It's been a little less extreme today.
Best race we've seen Land Rover BAR ever sail. That's what we're seeing right now. 99.9% flight time. That means best stability we've seen from their boat. I think pace is good. I think Joey nailed it. You look at even the wind shift. They got a really nice high angle. Look at that low angle of the Kiwis right there. So Giles Scott, Ben Ainsley, boats going quick. I think Joey Newton nailed it. Breezes down a couple knots, and all of a sudden their boards might be working a little better than at that very upper end. And that's a tack we're used to seeing out of the Kiwis. That's by the way, everybody's been going to school. Like, it seems to me that everybody's spinning the boat quicker and quicker and quicker all the time.
Yeah.
Going to school a little bit on the Kiwis. Now, can Ainsley make it through to the gate, lay the gate here on starboard tack? I don't believe he's going to be able to, but he's got one more tack to go. Potentially the Kiwis just have one more tack to go. So
Lay line's 25 away.
don't look over your shoulder, Ben.
It is still in the balance. There will be nerves fluttering all across Great Britain. Election day, of course, today back home. No democracy out there on the water, though.
Lay line is in 15.
Dog eat dog.
Lay line is
And Peter Burling is intent on ruining
5.
the British challenge. He's going about it in a very efficient fashion at the moment.
After that tack, we saw their weather dagger board actually coming up rather slowly. You got to wonder if they're having some sort of board control issues in this race. We've seen, like we pointed out earlier, and then Joey pointed out, we've seen some instability in the Kiwi boat that we haven't seen before, and that tack was interesting. The board didn't just pop up on the old side like it usually does. Ainsley's held on to this lead. Fantastic job by the Brits.
A slight deep bow to be sure of the 2 and into the bottom, please.
So the penultimate gate. Downwind for one final leg for Sir Ben Ainsley and Land Rover BAR.
115, 120, 125, 130, 140, 140, 145.
What are those numbers they're calling out, Ken?
Probably true wind angle, I would imagine.
Okay, 20 seconds, happy to go here, Ben.
The angle to the breeze. Apparent wind angles on these boats are always around 17, 18, 19 degrees, whether you're going upwind or downwind. Maybe, Joey, tell us what are true wind angles and apparent wind angles in this type of condition?
The apparent wind angles are usually about 16 or 17 degrees and maybe 18 when you're going downwind. But for instance, if you close your eyes and sit on the deck of one of these boats, it always feels like you're going into the breeze because of the apparent wind that they generate. Upwind, the true wind angles, you tack through about 90 degrees, and it really depends on how much wind there is when you're going downwind.
It's great to have insight of the guys that actually do this stuff for a living instead of us just sitting here guessing at it.
Need one more drive here, boys. Trying to face off a little.
To have the buffer for Emirates Team New Zealand, the buffer of this 4-1 lead, knowing they only need one more race win for safe passage through. A little bit of slack in their system, not so the British.
1 and in, reach the finish, guys. Lay line is 25 away.
Charles Scott reporting lay line, and a jibe will happen in about 25 seconds.
20.
By here.
15.
Best race of their regatta by far.
In 5. Okay, Ben, happy.
There's their final jibe of the leg. Finish line is close by now. It is close at hand.
Yeah, no problem. Just keep it locked in, guys.
100% fly time. They are on track here to follow the Kiwis in completing the course entirely up on their foils. British. Match point down, but digging it out, dogging it out. Backs right up against the wall. So Ben Ainsley has come up trumps. They're going to need to do it 3 more times. But the British challenge is still alive. They're still here. They are still in the hunt.
So impressive, given everything we have seen in this event so far. Well done, Land Rover BAR.
You've got submerged boy, 5 degrees low, 100 metres.
So the Kiwis know that this semi-final has now been extended as they splash down at the finish line. A little bit of instability costing them in that race.